So, in our journey through studying control systems, we just saw for a fact that a control system can be represented using a block diagram. But now, these block diagrams, these complex block diagrams can be reduced into a single block. So how do we do this? Well, my name is Rishi Ramju and welcome to the Backbench Engineering community where I make engineering easy for you. So let us ask ourselves that obvious question. How do you reduce huge complex block diagrams into simpler blocks? Well, let's find out. So for the purpose of reduction of block diagrams, there are certain rules that we have to follow. If we follow those rules, then we can simply reduce a huge block diagram into a very simple and small block. So the first rule in the case of reduction of block diagram states that if there are two blocks like this, say G and H, and if this block is provided as a feedback to this particular block, then what we observe is that this particular combination can be reduced into a single block where this is given as G divided by 1 plus GH. If this is a negative, then this could be reduced as G divided by 1 plus GH. But rather, if this was a positive, that is, if this is G, and now if this is provided as a feedback, say H over here, but as a positive, if this is added over here, then this can be reduced to a single block where this block would be equal to G divided by 1 minus GH. So this is the first rule for the purpose of reduction of a block diagram. That is, if these two blocks are provided in such a way that this is a feedback to this particular block, then simply by using the formula of a feedback of a particular system, we can now reduce this into a simple block like this. Next, let us see the second rule. So the second rule of reduction of block diagram states that if we have two blocks in series like this, with the gains G1 and G2 respectively, then this could be reduced into a single block where this block is equal to the multiplication of each of these. That is, a combination of a series of blocks can be reduced into a single block which is given as G1, G2. That is the second rule for the purpose of reduction of block diagrams. But now, rather, if these two blocks were in parallel like this, then this is the third rule of reduction of block diagrams, which states that if there are two blocks that are parallel, then this can be reduced into a single block where that block is equal to the simple arithmetic sum of these two blocks. That is, this would be equal to G1 plus G2. That is the third rule for the purpose of reduction of a particular block diagram. Very simple, guys. It's as simple as that. Next, we have a particular mechanism in which we can shift a particular branch. That is shifting of branches. So now let us consider that this is a particular block, and let this block have a gain, say G. And now let us give a particular input, say R over here, and let this provide an output, say C. Now let us assume that there is a branch over here like this. So therefore the output over here would be given as R into G. So let us now assume that we need to shift this particular branch from here to over here like this. So if we have to shift this branch from here to here, let us just simply shift that branch over there. So this would now become, here we have R, here we have C. So if we are shifting this branch over here, it would be like this. But if we are simply pasting it over here, if we are simply moving it over here, what we would observe is that the output of this branch would simply just be R. But here actually the output is RG. So therefore what we do is that here we would provide another block over here which has the gain G, and therefore on the output we would get RG, which is the same output we used to get before shifting that particular branch. As simple as that, guys. So simply in layman's terms, if we have to shift a branch before a particular block, all we have to do is place another block in that particular branch with the gain of that particular block G. As simple as that. So now next, on the contrary, let us see another case in which we need to shift a branch from here to over here. That is shifting a branch ahead of a particular block. So now let us consider a particular block, say having a gain G over here like this. And now let us assume that we have a branch over here. And now if the input is say R and the output is say C, here the output over here is simply just this particular input R, because this branch is not passing through G. So now let us assume that we need to shift this branch to over here. Then if we need to shift this branch over here, let us now shift it over here. So now we are now shifting this branch over here. But if we are simply just shifting it, when we observe the output, it would be given as R into G, because this is RG and this is also RG. But here the intended output is only R. And therefore, what we do is that we simply just place another block over here with a gain is equal to 1 by G. That is the reciprocal of this particular gain. And therefore, what we observe is that the output that we obtain over here would be simply equal to R, which is the intended output over here. So this thus is simply how we shift branches ahead and behind of a particular block. As simple as that, guys, as simple as that. All we have to do is just add another block with the gain G if we are shifting it backwards, and if we are shifting it ahead, we have to just add another block 1 by G. So now here we saw how we can shift a particular branch. Next, let us see how we can shift a particular summing point ahead and behind of a particular block. So shifting of summing points. So now let us assume that we have a particular block with a gain say G. And now let us assume there is a summing point over here, say plus plus. Here let us assume we have A, and here let us assume that we have B over here like this. So now let us assume that we need to shift this particular summing point over here like this. So here what we observe is that this would be A plus B. So here we have A plus B, and this, upon going through this particular block, we would get G into A plus B. So now we have this over here. Let us now shift this summing point to this particular side of this particular block G. So what we observe is that here we will have G like this, and here we will have a particular summing point over here. That is, this summing point has been shifted to here. So now the output over here must be equal to A plus B into G. So let us assume that the input over here is A. That is, here we have A, and now here therefore what we do is that this particular input B is now passed through the same block G over here like this, and it is fed over here to this particular adding point. So therefore what we observe is that the output would now be equal to A into G plus B into G, which is equal to A plus B into G. So therefore this is simply how we shift a particular summing point ahead of a particular block. So now next let us assume that we need to shift a particular summing point behind a particular block. So let us assume that we have a summing point like this. Let us say we have an input say A, and here we have an input say B, and let this be G. So now let us assume that we need to shift this summing point over here. So now what we observe is that when this A passes through G, we would get AG, and now here we are supposed to get AG plus B. So now let us now shift this summing point over here. So what we observe is that when we shift this summing point over here like this, what we observe is that this now is passed through G, and now here we have A. And now what we observe is that this particular B must also be given to this particular summing point. But if we simply just give b, we would get a plus b into g. But we are supposed to get ag plus b. So therefore, we simply just add a block over here with gain 1 by g. And b is passed through that. So therefore, here we would get a plus b by g. And when we multiply it with g, we would get ag plus b. As simple as that, guys. This thus is simply how you can shift summing points ahead and behind of a particular block. As simple as that. And now the last rule of this particular reduction of block diagrams is interchanging of summing points. So now let us assume that we have two summing points like this. So here, let us assume here we have A and here we have B. And now here let us assume that we are giving C over here. So now the final output would be, this would be A plus B, and now this would be A plus B minus C. Let us assume we are interchanging these two summing points. So therefore if we interchange these two summing points, this would now become A, and here what we observe is that here we have to give minus C over here. And now here what we observe is that we have plus B. So this would be A minus C, and here this would become A minus C plus B, which is same as A plus B minus C. As simple as that. So these thus are the simple rules for the purpose of reduction of block diagrams. So if you guys have a clear idea of these rules for the purpose of reducing block diagrams, you can simply reduce huge and complex block diagrams into very simple blocks, and thereby obtain the final mathematical modeling, and therefore obtain the transfer function of a particular block diagram of a control system. So in the next video, we'll be seeing a few examples as in how we can reduce huge and complex block diagrams into simple ones using these rules for block diagram reduction. So I'll see you guys in the next one. So I hope you guys now have a clear understanding of the various rules for the purpose of reduction of block diagrams. And if you guys found this video informative, please do hit the like button and join this community by hitting that subscribe button. We'll be discussing about the further topics in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned, stay subscribed. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.